Right then, another instalment of the S5. So for you, it's probably a week or two, but for me, it's not. So if you watch the previous videos, see we've took it on track. We've identified we've got some cooling issues. We've had it on the dyno. We've fixed some of the cooling issues. But the other thing, it's going to be more track focused than road focused for me. I could still use it daily, but my commute's 9 mile each way, so I can live with something that's a little bit leery for that sort of commute. So the plan is to put more of a track setup on this. Not full race spec, that's what I've got race cars for. I don't want everything to be solid mounted and what have you. But I do want to have something that's decent. And the big thing, if we're going to go for sticky tyres, is making sure we're not going to kill the outside edge, because we've got loads of grip, then the tyres rolling over, and they just destroy the outer edge, and you end up with a set of tyres that are brand new on the inside and absolutely dead on the outside, and that costs too much money to run a car like that, and you're not going as fast as you could go. It's not fun when it all goes wrong and you start sliding about. So, got a few things out now that we want to show you. Hopefully get all these fitted in this video and sort of talk about the reasons why we fit them and why we've learnt what we've learnt over the years. So anyway, let's have a quick look. So the previous video I fitted the intercooler, that's the old one. Watch that if you want to see. Boring, toe high, extra one so I can have one in the front and the back. I hope I never have to use them. In the last video I put some new discs on there, and the only pads we could get in the short time that my own idiocy allowed us to were just some standard ones, and they worked all right, to be fair. It weren't too bad. I don't know whether the cooling ducts that we put on there helped, but we've got some Padgy Street Plus ones now. So these come and they're not very thick. I do want to measure how thick they are before I put them on there, which I'll just do it now. Don't think it even bloody works, this. No, it don't work. Cheapest, nastiest calipers that always need a battery. So I've got that at 16mm, which I thought they were going to be 16mm. So 16mm thick standard. So these are just a Street Plus. These are good because they tell you which ones they are, which the cheap ones didn't. And hopefully these clips don't give me as much pain as they did, because I was nearly crying when I was doing them. So they're going in, and then the other ones will just be spares. So that's that. It's nice and easy. So when I was doing the cooling ducts, I took off the splash guard and realised that if we took that off and left it off completely, I think the ball joint and the ABS sensor and maybe the track rod end were going to get damaged from the heat of the disc. So I said in that video, I think the Maycans must have a different splash guard, which they do have. So these are not expensive, so I think I might fit these this time. See how much time we've got left, because that's going to mean the caliper and the disc off again, so it's only a couple of extra bolts, I suppose. But yeah, I'm going to fit them anyway, so that should protect everything that needs protecting and let the air from the Maycan ducts get pushed to the disc. So that's the sort of straightforward stuff. The spigot's finally arrived for the wheels, so that they're not going to be wobbling about for the when we use the rear TT wheels on this. Set 4 all round. So then some Hardrace stuff now, which when we got the car and I'd not driven it on track, the big thing with front wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, Audis especially, but pretty much any road car, the setup to be really neutral. You're not going to easily get the back end to turn, which if you want to be fast, you need the back to help you with the turning as well as the front. Otherwise, you're going to keep ploughing on and eventually destroy your front tyres. So I wanted to have adjustability at the rear. So that's what all this stuff is. Having driven it on track, obviously not a perfect setup, not got all the grip in the front that we want and all the grip in the rear as such. I don't think we want to go too crazy on the alignment, because the sports diff definitely seems to work. On corner exit especially, the sports diff does work. Corner entry we might be able to get a little bit more of a twitch on the way in, but we'll see. So we ordered all this stuff, so I've not even looked at this myself. So kind of unboxing. There we go, Hardrace. So these are quite fancy looking at them. So this is the camber arm. So you'll have, if you want to adjust your camber, quite a big coarse thread that. Nicely done. So you've got your lock nuts and what have you. So we'll measure them up, see what the standard ones are, and then do an educated guess as what we think we want them to be. If it turns into a pain to adjust this, we can put the hub stands that we use for the race cars and have a play around, and we can share the measurements if anybody wants to know. They're drop links, I'm assuming, because they they bolt up differently. And the radio's going mad because my dinner's ready. So, yeah. Yeah, that's them, so we'll get them out in a bit. So that's the upper arm for the camber, which, camber arm, oh, it's umber arm. And then this one here should be the toe arms. So it's two of them. These are really long. That's where the difference is in the old B8 to B9s. These are really long. So, yeah, that should do what we need to do. So same thing again, just wind it in. I'm assuming this is a left hand and a right hand thread, so it's on a turnbuckle. So put them in and adjust them equally, so you don't end up with one dropping out. So that's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure what the standard alignment figures are on this, so I think I'm going to put the strings on and just measure it, and then I know where I'm starting from, rather than just having at it. So this is for the rear. This anti-roll bar, this is for the rear as well. So this is a 26mm anti-roll bar, I think it is. Yeah, it measures at 26, so it's probably 25, or an inch, it's probably in American. So, oh, come on. Eventually.
That shows your wrist action.
Left hand, it's the wrong hand. So, not adjustable, which I'm not too bothered about anyway, because I'd just put it on the stiffest setting, which is no biggie. I'll just dump that there and see what else comes in the bag. Hopefully not another set of adjustable drop links. Just the bushers, some hardware. We'll rip that out in a bit anyway. So that's the rear sorted. We've got everything we need for that. I think we should be able to get this car to do whatever we want at the rear with the adjustability we've got from that. Just putting the stiffer anti-roll bar. For a road car, with how this drives with the sports diff, I'd say just the roll bar would be enough. Obviously, you want to go crazy, you can go crazy. So then at the front, this is from, I don't know how you'd say it, I'd say 034 Motorsport, but they'll probably say 034, or they'll probably be something else. And obviously you know they're from California, when everything causes cancer and reproductive harm.
Came pretty quick this as well. Came on a Concorde.
I don't think it did. That's just stupid. So inside here, there's a DIY arm kit. So I believe this is I can't remember what exact kit it's called. We'll put up what it is. So yeah, basically these are all the upper arms, the lower arms, every arm at the front. Not all of them are adjustable. So that I'm not sure if the geometry's changed on these, but they're not adjustable. But then we've got, it's a track, upper, left, whatever, they've all got labels on them. So the idea with these, use the rose joints, and then we can adjust the camber at the front, which we're definitely going to need to do. Ball joints, all looks decent quality stuff. These are horrible to put on, I absolutely hate putting them on, but they need to be done because these are going to add a little bit of extra NVH, as the manufacturers like to call it, noise, vibration, harshness, because there's no rubber there. But then bushers get pulled out on most cars and they're knackered anyway. So now on to the good stuff. I've not even looked in here either, so I'm pretty excited to see what's in here. So this is an Öhlins road and track kit. Öhlins are what we run on our race cars now, so it made sense to just try these. I think we do list a few other options on the website, so we can flash them up. This is, I'd probably say, would it be the most expensive one for this? You can definitely get more expensive if you want to go crazy.
Probably up there, top shelf.
Yeah. For what we're going to sell and for what people who we're selling to are going to use, these are probably the top shelf. I've not fitted these yet, obviously. I've not fitted a set of these to my car. We've sold a few. I don't believe they go as low as like what some of the other kits will do. So if you're just going purely for the looks and bragging rights, these might not be the ones to have. I don't know. Let me fit them and see. I'm not going to slam it because if we run the 18-inch wheels, the car's going to be quite a bit lower anyway because the overall diameter of the wheels is significantly less. I've not worked out yet, to be fair. I ought to work that out. give me send another job. So we don't want to slam it anyway, and I don't want to mess about the geometry to the point where we're having kinematic issues, not just toe and camber issues, but worse, scrub and all that sort of stuff, anti-dive and what have you. So I don't know what's even in here. Springs. And springs. So this is just the springs and the adjusters, and they do look nice, so I don't know. Oh, looks nice. I'm not going for full unpacking this.
Looks like you are.
Yeah, it seems to be. I'm just making sure that it's just the same duplications. So the springs, I'm not sure which are the front and the rears. They've definitely got different numbers on them. They say 140. 140, they say 120, which is quite stiff, to be fair. We don't run that stiff on the race cars, but they're not as heavy as this. So that's that box. So I'm assuming this is the one with all the Öhlins magic in. Oh, you get stickers for your money. Get stickers. Oh, boots. There we go. Dual flow valve. And then the adjustment, I believe, it's just the light, these. Feel them? They're not heavy for what they are. Not too bad. So I believe that's the adjuster. That's as far as it goes. Need to figure out which way is which. Should I be doing this? I don't know. Knowing my look, they come preset. Yeah, that's all the way off, so.
Have you counted how many cuts you've gone each way?
No. I'm not that good. Well, nearly all that way, so I'd assume that's soft. Yeah. Anyway, so that is one of the rears, I'd have thought. We'll get all this unpacked, make it look nice, take a picture, and then start fitting it, basically. So, before I get giddy, let's measure this. So, 1.6, 1.5, and 6, which is not a lot. Our race cars run 4.5. Oh, thereabouts. 1.2 on there. As accurate as it's going to be. 1, so less than 2. I think we want to have 2 at the back, 3.5 at the front, so have a play. So, messing about now. Spent probably half an hour at least doing measurements. So that's what this, I had some old, well, some eBay toe and camber arms. I measured them, that was easy. Measured them, that's what we've got at the minute, 1 degree kind of, we want probably 2. So that's what I think we need to set them up, we'll see. The camber arms, a bit of a pain to adjust in situ, we'll see. In the front, I need to measure them front arms and then build all these up, but I'm going to do the rear first. I've got the shocks all sorted, I just need to put this boot on, which is a little bit of a wrestle. Set the height and the spring adjusters, it says set them at 10 mil. 10 to 15, I'm going to set them at 5 and then just see how low the car actually goes. And then I'm possibly going to get the rear anti-roll bar in at some point as well. So, let me get cracking. I'll take the wheels and tyres off and put them on the rack. So, leave me to it. So this is the job at hand. So I'm going to get this off, which means I'm going to take that off. And then at that end, put the roll bar off. The roll bar itself looks very easy, which is good. So, yeah, let's start. I'll rip that off first and get this arm out of way, get the arm out of way and work his way backwards. So the other arm we need to change is this really long one. So hopefully that comes out easy enough. Let's see. Take the arms off, drop the shocker out of the way, and get some of this plastic crap out.
see how we get on. Rear roll bar, easy. So this has just made my life 10 times harder. So that's the nut end. The bolt end is up there, tight against chassis. I'm going to have to drop alt subframe just to get to that. What a joke. I'll put it back in the other way around, but what a nightmare. What the factory should have done and put this bolt back in the right way. It's all the old stuff. Pop these top mounts off. I should have just bought some new ones. But anyway, sort it now. New plan. That's alright, that's come off. But I'd have to deepen that to get the nut off and get that out. And then this one, look how crusty that is. It won't even undo. So, new top mounts for me. Should have just bought them anyway, but see how we get on.
just come and catch it now. Feels really loose. You just took it, yeah, push it out. Hey!
Don't even need to keep running. That's why, look at that.
Yeah. Is it steel bolt on the lead?
Yeah. So obviously, but then it's.
Is that stretched?
I don't know if it's stretched or it's like got to have that in it. Anyway, it's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Weird bolt. Have I just undone something over there that I shouldn't have done? That's not good. Now I've got my measurements on the arms from here. Need to build these up. Start building this, but I'll just have a quick look. A wall bearing, so very nice. Oh, can you see that? Very nice rose joints. One focus. Focus. John! Focus. So yeah, I'll build them up. Got to decide how I'm going to adjust these. You take that one off and twist it, or you're going to take that big stupid bolt out. But one thing I've noticed, I thought we got every bolt I needed. I've got every bolt except the one I needed. So I'm going to have to wait for that. So I'm waiting on top mounts, I'm waiting on bolts. I think I'm going to be doing this lastminute.com. Hopefully not, but I still could be fitting these and these if I need to, so I'm not stuck yet. So I want to put them boots on, but I need to tighten this up first. So using the car as a vice, so I'll just nip that up and then nip them up. Try and bring it along for the ride.
Click.
Do you use torque wrench and
All
stuff?
time.
Do you?
Oh, flat out, I love it.
So when they come loose, you saw me, not you torque. I've just gone maximum attack on everything. I've gone as short as they'll go. Do you think that's the best idea?
Yeah, to get started. Although there's definitely room for more on them.
No, they won't go in.
Oh, is it flat out?
That's why I'm waiting for it, which I think is a bit weird.
Let's drill it out.
Yeah. So today's the day after, starting afresh. So waiting on, I'm waiting on the other side bolt. I'm waiting on a nut for that. Bit annoying, really. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the strut in for now. I'm going to pull all these arms off, make sure these all come off nice. I shouldn't break that. I've got new ones of everything there. Take this out. So I've got that to take off, that to take off, that. Shouldn't be too difficult. And I need to take these off so I can adjust the toe when I need to. So, top mounts, pull this off. Always the harder ones first. Oh, nearly dropped it. That's it. Bada bing. Bada boom. Bolts nuts and top mounts have arrived. Let's get cracking again. So everything's in now. That was a bit of a pain to get the drop link bolt in and to disconnect it from the other side because it's lower now. So everything's in. I'm gonna do I'm gonna press stand under here, put the weight of the car on, and then I'm gonna nip everything up because at the minute nothing that's got a bushing is tight. So we'll get all them tight, even the top ones, because you don't want to twist the inside of the bush. That's the plan. So what I've learnt from the other side, get this off first. Just take the strut out. Not been easy to film this, but I'm at the position now where I need to get that one in, you see it, and this one. So I've done things other way around, I've done things the other way around compared to before, dropping the strut out and then bolting these in. I don't think I've made my life easier, because it were easier before when I did things the other way around. I got that side, that were a bit of a struggle, that's a bit of a struggle, and damaged the boot getting that bolt out because it were all sagging more. So that bolt needs to come out before you drop anything down, and it's probably easy if you lift it up to get that out. I'll glue that for now, I'll sort it, it's no biggie. But yeah, struggling a little bit, but I'll make it happen. So I think I've figured out, I've been manipulating this. I think I've pulled dry shaft out, so don't do it how I did it the second time. Make sure these arms are connected up first and struggle getting them in. If you get them in easy, that'll fall. It's definitely fell out, hasn't it? Yeah. So, seeing as I'm an idiot, I'll let Ruben fix my dry shaft. Just pried these out, back arms. Pretty near, but it does look like it wants just a tiny bit. Look at the oil it's going to go in. It's a tiny bit fire enough edge of that to go in. All this is done. Could not record all the swearing, but it's done. Finished back now. Moment of truth. Yeah, it's a bit lower. Bit lower up back. Definitely go lower up front. It's too bad. We'll measure it tomorrow though, not messing about now. Right, so this is the day after. Let it settle a bit. Been for a little drive. Heard a few funny noises. Need to figure them out. But too low on the back. Tiny bit. Probably not far off on front, but I'll go a little bit lower because the other tyres are an inch smaller in diameter, or about 25mm smaller. So anyway, stop talking rubbish. Camber wise, I was hoping for another degree on that at the front, and I've probably got at least half a degree, if not a little bit more. Too much there, nearly got 3 on back, so I need to play with that
But the thing with these, the toe does affect the camber quite a bit, so I think I'm going to end up chasing around with this. The toe is easier to adjust than the camber on both ends, so I'm going to get the toe something like and see what that does to the camber. If I can live with it, I will. If not, I'll adjust it. But first thing, I'm going to drop that front 5mm, and I think I'm going to lift that rear up 15, because according to my calculations, with 42mm lower on the rear and only 22mm lower on the front, which you need rake really, which is the rear higher than the front. The other thing I need to measure, which is not easy, I just want to measure the droop and see how much I've got. So this one, this side's set to where I'd say what most droop I'd want it to have, the other side's set to the least, so I'll measure that now. So not an exact science. So I need to decide if I'm taking some away. I think more droop the better on this to start with, so I'm going to make that one more. So I've wound that out that much to add the droop back in at this side. That's 10 minutes I'm not going to get back. So the end is in sight. I'm not quite there, it's took me far too long. I'm getting a little bit annoyed at myself more than anything, but nothing wrong with any of the parts. So I finally got the ride height, something like, I've ended up probably 5mm lower than what the Öhlins manual said. That said leave 45mm of thread showing. I've ended up with 40mm of thread showing, and that's lowered us about 27mm ish. And then at the rear, we're down 26mm by leaving roughly 11 or 12mm of spring when they said to leave 5. So we're 5 lower, 5 or 6 higher, and that's about where we want to be. The alignment's going to take me quite a bit of time. I think I've not got as much camber as I want on the front, and that's not easy to adjust. And I've got a little bit more camber on the rear than I want, and that's a little bit easy to adjust, but still not easy. The toe and the camber are quite proportional to each other. If you move one, you move the other. So, and the toe's going to be nowhere near at the minute because the track rods and everything have all been set over. So I'm going to get the strings on that shortly, get that sorted. But I think this video's gone on long enough. If you want to see where we end up with this, watch the Castle Coombe video that'll be after this, or you got to wait. It's not going to be a long period of time from me doing it because I'm setting off tomorrow. But yeah, see how we get on. So we're at full stiff, 5mm lower on the front, 5mm higher on the back, and the arms, I'll get the measurements of what I set them to when I've finished, because I don't want to tell anybody any porcupines. But the next step for me, corner weight, alignment, brakes, because I was going to do the brakes in this video and I've not, so I'll do them next. So a quick aside here, these bolts here, if you remember, have I just undone something at the other end that I shouldn't have done? Added a little thread at end. It looks like some sort of bracket, shield, guard, something to do with fuel pipes. But somebody was talking to me when I undid that, so if I didn't notice or pay any attention, I might stick this back in. I'm just going to take that out, I can't be bothered. I can't find nut anyway.